Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ray, that's Koji, and today, well, let's go look at the state of the OP-06 secondary market. But before we get to the news, I just want to let you guys know that for this video, I will be giving away one sealed OP-04 dashback. So if you're looking for that Shirahoshi, this is going to be a good one. And all you have to do is to be part of this giveaway is make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And before we get to the news, I just want to shout out the members of my Wolfpack and to let everyone know that my members only giveaway for April is this awesome Oda Luffy card from OP-05. Look at that. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the signed version. Even though I did pull off two of them before, there's a lot of giveaway there. But if you want to be part of this giveaway of the regular Oda Luffy card, all you have to do is become a member in the month of April. All right, now without further ado, yeah, let's go check out OP-06 prices. All right, it's another episode of Market Watch where we look at the One Piece card game secondary market. This is going to be for the month of April 2024. We will see what the sealed and I guess single market looks like, specifically focusing on OP-06. I believe just because from last month we didn't really focus on OP-06, so this is going to be a really cool way to look at how the OP-06 secondary market looks like. Is it good? Is it bad? Is everything just too dang expensive? All right, as always, we are going to start out with the sealed products with OP-01. So OP-01, it started out at the beginning of the month at 521 US dollars, and now it went down it's holding steady at just under 500 US dollars, as you can see in the latest sales. That's kind of what it's holding. Obviously, this is going to be for the white bottom OP-01 boxes. If you do have the blue bottom pre-errata boxes, it's going to be way more expensive. I believe it's going to be close to twice the amount compared to the white bottom boxes, so it's going to be closer to like 800 900 US dollars. So if you were able to hold those, you are definitely making bank. Next, let's go look at OP-02. Wow, quite different from OP-01. We saw actually a spike, and it looks like it's only getting higher. It started out at 300, just under 317 US dollars, and it went all the way up with this massive jump about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and it's now even climbing even higher. It's now just over 356 US dollars, a gain of 40 US dollars in just 1 month. Absolutely crazy. As you see, the latest sales is actually even more than that, which is absurd. It's selling at the last sold just today. It's actually nearly 410 US dollars. It's definitely approaching OP-01 levels right now. You know, is this perpetuated because the scuttlebutt in the secondary market is that the reprints that Bandai announced is just for OP-05 plus, not necessarily OP-01 to OP-04. So with the prevalence of the navy and black decks, you know, a lot of people want Borsalinos, a lot of people want Kuzans, and it's hard to get those cards. Yeah, so maybe that's pushing a lot of the very ridiculous spikes of OP-02 boxes the last month or so. Next, let's go look at OP-03. Similar increase, not as dramatic as OP-02. It started out at just over 226 US dollars, and now just over 271 US dollars. Pretty good increase. It's about 50 US dollars. Yeah, in the last month or so. Pretty nice uptick there. Same thing. Is it pushed just because of the yellow cards? You know, Katakuri is still very popular and is still going to be very strong in the OP-07. So, you know, Big Moms is here. Katakuri is, you know, as a secret rare, is still going to be here. So, Yeah, pretty interesting to see if this one will continue to grow. There's definitely a shift or an increase a lot earlier, but now it looks like it's holding steady. So it'll be interesting to see if it holds the price next month. Next, let's go look at OP-04. It's definitely a lot more erratic compared to the first three. There's definitely an increase then about halfway through, and then it's slowly going down. It started in the month at just over 159 US dollars, and it spiked all the way up to 172, which is pretty nice. It's about 24 US dollars there. Then it's slowly about holding steady right now at just over 166 US dollars. Recently sold. It's a little bit higher. It's closer to 170 there. So definitely an increase there. I'm not really sure what's pushing it. I remember the days when OP-04 was getting sold pretty much close to MSRP just because there's so many of that product and a lot of people were not really that interested in a lot of the cards there. So pretty interested to see how this looks a month from now, if it's gonna keep going down or if there's some other forces that will push it back up again. Maybe the you know, the decrease of the amount of seal products out there, maybe that will push the prices of this box a lot higher later on, just because the reprints is just, I said before, the scuttlebutt or the rumor is that it's just OP-05 plus. So we will see. I honestly I feel like OP-04 is the weakest set so far in the One Piece card game compared to pretty much every single set until OP-06. So I don't know. I honestly I don't get why the boxes are so expensive, especially since the hits are honestly it's okay, not necessarily amazing. Next, let's go look at the last set. We have OP-05. It started out at 267 US dollars, just over, and then it actually spiked all the way at 294 US dollars, and you can see it slowly decreased. As I mentioned before, right now with the announcement of the Bandai reprints, people thought it's the reprint of OP-01 to OP-05 when the news was said during the Bandai Card Fest. However, some shops have noted that their distributors have announced that the reprints are actually based on OP-05 to OP-08, not necessarily previous sets earlier than that. So, maybe that's what's pushing the price a little bit down. So right now it's holding steady at just over 274 US dollars. It looks like the recent sold prices are around there. Still ridiculously expensive. Not as expensive as OP-02 or OP-01, but definitely more expensive than OP-03. Not surprised. I feel that OP-05 is the best set that Bandai has produced so far in the One Piece card game. The 3 hits are just actually there's 4 hits. The 4 hits, the 3 mangas plus the Oda sign card are amazing. And honestly, if there's a set to actually hold for the long term, it's probably going to be this one. Just there's too many good hits here and a Gear 5 manga chase. Unbelievable. Next, let's go look at our current set. Oh, it's pretty interesting. It looks like it cratered and then a jump quite recently. Okay, let's go look at the beginning. At the beginning of the month, it was just over 239 US dollars, and then it went slowly down with a huge sharp decline about 3 weeks or about a week and a half from now or 2 weeks from now, and it went actually at the low of $191.52, and then there was a huge spike and he went all the way up to 215, and then now it looks like the recent sold at around 200 US dollars. So pretty interesting to see how this set shapes up. I honestly think, from what I feel as an eBay seller, there's a lot of profitability in the set. There's a lot of SRs that is carrying a lot of values, some rares as well, and some of the hits, are pretty good. So we will see when we look at the individual singles if my feeling reflects the actual data. So very interested. And yeah, we will see, will this continue to go down a month from now with the release of EB01? It'll be interesting to see how it compares there. All right, next let's go look at some of the future sets, starting with OP-07. So OP-07, there was a very high pre-sale price of just over 196 US dollars. It looks like it's stabilizing now at just 195. Still ridiculously expensive. Even before, what is it? It's gonna be like 3 months from now, and it's already 195 US dollars, which is insane. Unfortunately, a lot of the high pre-sale prices might be due to the rumor going around before the reprint news that OP-7, OP-06 to OP-08 might be short printed a little bit, or there will be a little bit of a lack of, I guess, allocations to a lot of the stores. So yeah, that kind of pushed some of the prices very high. So that's why, a month from now, it was already at the 196. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully they will reprint these products a lot sooner, just because in terms of the health of the game, in order for, there's so much demand, there's so many more people getting interested in this game. The playing, or the playing side of this, of the One Piece card game, is so healthy. So many people from different card games want to get in here. Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic, they see the prices, the amount of money people are wanting to pay for some of these tournament pricing are high, right? So that's why more people are trying to get in, and there's not a lot of products available. Even if you buy in the secondary market, as we will see later on, it's still pretty high, and some people, a lot more casual, they just want to enjoy ripping cards and enjoy ripping packs, and that should be okay and available for them, instead of people buying like 20 at a time whenever they're available in Walmart or Barnes and Nobles or wherever, Hot Topic. So yeah, hopefully they will print a lot more, and because I think that will be way healthier for this card game in the long run. And then next, finally, let's go look at OP-08. Yeah, so it looks like OP-08, these looks like they started pre-orders around half of the month, and right now it's holding steady at ridiculous 229 US dollars. And there's one more that we need to look at. Let's go quickly look at the EB01 price. I forgot to add it here. All right, let's go look at EB01. So if you do not know, EB01 is the memorial collection. It's going to be half set in between OP-06 and OP-07. So it looks like last month or so, it started out at 179 US dollars. And yeah, it's about holding around that price. So it's a lot lower just because it's going to be half the amount of cards you need to collect for the set. So it's kind of a little bit of in between the major sets. Will be interesting to see how much the market will embrace this product compared to the main set, and see if the prices for this one will hold or it will go down when it releases. All right, so that has been the sealed products. Next, let's go look at some of the single prices, starting with the chases in OP-06. All right, so first, in terms of the singles in OP-06, we're going to look at some of the bigger chases in the set with the Manga, Zoro, as well as all of the SPs. So yeah, so first let's go quickly look at Manga Zoro. So obviously Manga Zoro is the chase of this set. I'm still personally looking for this card. Hopefully I get to grab him. I was lucky with OP-05. I was able to get 2 Oda signed Luffy cards. Unfortunately, no mangas, but can't complain. 2 manga Luffy, or 2 Oda signed Luffys is Chez Magnifique. So next, let's go look at Zoro. So Zoro, it started out when it released at just over 1,656 US dollars, and it looks like it slowly went down about $100 since then, and it's holding steady right now at 1,522. Recent sold is a little bit lower. It's just over or I guess around 1400 US dollars. So in terms of the ranking, I feel that this is a little bit lower than the obviously the Manga Luffy. I think it's number one. It's the most expensive chase card out there. I think Oda signed card is number two, from what I remember. And then I feel like this is going to be the same level as Shanks right now. Now, how it will be after or later on, maybe it's going to go a little bit higher. Zoro is Zoro. Zoro is the second most popular character in all of the One Piece in a lot of, well, actually I don't know if it's number two, but definitely top three in a lot of the fan rankings out there. So it's definitely going to be a chase card for a lot of people. So I won't be surprised if the value will get higher than even Shanks. But obviously Luffy's Luffy, so I won't be surprised if this will hold as number three for a long time. The only card that I know will probably dethrone it is obviously another Luffy card or a Nami card. I think a Nami card will be higher than Zoro. I believe that Robin will be higher than Zoro as well. It'll be interesting to see how Boa is in OP-07. What the pricing of that one will be. I think it'll be lower than Zoro, but waifu tax, you know. But Zoro is cool. You know, Zoro is one of the best characters in the One Piece and definitely one of my favorites. So yeah. So next, let's go look at some of the SPs. I like to break it down this way just because SPs in the set is the second hardest thing to pull, just because you're only guaranteed two per case compared to like leaders where you're guaranteed four, right? So getting a specific SP is definitely a lot more or a lot harder compared to leader alt art. So yeah, starting with the most expensive SP in OP-06, we have Rebecca. So Rebecca's very interesting. It looks like during the pre-release, it was at 150 US dollars, and then during the release, it went down to 133, and then shot back up again, and it's slowly climbing up, and it's currently right now at just over 158 US dollars. Last sold is actually even higher. It's climbing up to around 170 US dollars. I won't be surprised if it's going to be even higher, just because black decks are some of, if not the best decks in OP-06, and honestly, probably in OP-07. Actually, I don't know about OP-07, but definitely for the next 3 months or so, black will be king. Even though yellow has won some of the most recent online regionals out there. Shout out to Michael, a local boy. If you do not know, Michael Curry is from Vancouver. He is from my locals, and we're so proud of that dude so much. Yeah, hit up his YouTube. Where he kind of did a little bit of a deck profile on and some of the matchups that he kind of played during the online regionals. But yeah, proud of that guy. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if this is gonna be even higher. The artwork is absolutely amazing. So waifu tax, very playable card, very rare. So I won't be surprised if the value of this card will even get higher. So next, at number two or second most expensive SP out there is the Big Mom SP. Yeah, this one is definitely interesting. And so let's go quickly look at the I guess the history last month. So pre-sale 130 US dollars, went all the way down to even 100 under 100 US dollars, and you can see it's slowly climbing up, and it actually even overshoot its pre-sale prices, and it's right now just over 143 US dollars. Last sold is even more than that at 150. I won't be surprised if it's even more, just because they actually announced like the pudding leader in OP-08. That looks absolutely insane, that you can ramp up a lot faster to get Big Mom out there a lot faster. So yeah, and then as I mentioned before, Katakuri has been winning some regionals, so a lot of more people are wanting to play yellow, wanting to bling out their decks. So honestly, I won't be surprised if Big Mom will actually catapult herself over Rebecca in the long run. So it'll be interesting to see and track the progress of this card for sure. Third one, not necessarily SP, but this is the Nami Treasure rare. I don't know how rare this Nami actually is. If you've been following my challenge, I actually pulled two treasure rare Namis in one case. I know that you're not guaranteed one per case. I've heard that some people open a case without any treasure rare. Some has pulled one, and obviously some have pulled two. Right now, during the release, it was like over 500 US dollars. So it looks like, yeah, pre-sale, it was well over 500. The highest it went was nearly 600 US dollars, and then release hits, and you can see the value tanked so much. Yeah, it went all the way down to just over 131 US dollars, and it's just slowly going down, and it's currently under 100 US dollars. You can see last sold is even lower than that. It's some even sold at 90 US dollars. It will be interesting to track this. you know with red being less popular, the artwork being very controversial, and it looks like it's pretty abundant compared. It's probably closer to the Oda signed Luffy card in terms of the rarity, or not the signed one, but just the regular Oda Luffy card. So it looks like it's about around that rarity, maybe a little bit rarer, but yeah. Unfortunately, even though I would like to say that Nami is Nami and this one will go, uh, it's good. It's good to hold this card. It's controversial enough that I don't even know how this one will appreciate over time. It might just be one of those ugly stepchild of Nami that people just want to forget later on. Will be interesting to see. But yeah, it looks like right now the hype of this card went down so fast when it released, and yeah, be interesting to see. Even don't be sad if you pull it. It's still gonna hold a little bit of a value just because it is still Nami, and it looks like it's a little bit rare to pull. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this one will look like later on. Next, we have Buggy. I think one of the best, if not the best, artwork in the OP-06. Love this card. Unfortunately, with the red as a, I guess, deck color being very mid in OP-06 on, unfortunately, it's not really that playable, but such sick artwork. So yeah, pre-release, it's nearly 200 US dollars, and yeah, it went slowly down. It's currently right now the market price is just under 82 US dollars. Last sold is even lower than that. We've had people selling at 70 US dollars. I feel that's very cheap, especially for a card this hard to actually pull. Remember, you're only guaranteed 2 SPs per case, and yeah, I won't be surprised if this card's value will go higher if red ever becomes relevant again, and there's gonna be a Buggy Pirates that you can play. Like, I won't be surprised this card will shoot up in price again. Next, we have Miss All Sunday, Robin Schwan, but not really Robin Schwan. I'm kind of surprised how this card hasn't really went up in value. I love Robin. Purple. I mean, the only purple deck that looks like to be valuable right now is Reiju, and Reiju doesn't really play Miss All Sunday. So if he has 2K counter, maybe. But right now it's Miss All or what's the other card? The 2K counter one in purple. That's the one that Reiju uses. So yeah, during pre-release, it was holding steady at 97 US dollars. It looks like it had a sharp decline, and it's right now at just over 74 US dollars. Last sold even a little bit even lower. We had some last sold at 72 US dollars. So yeah, be interested to track the price of this one moving forward. Next, we have Borsalino. A little bit of inverse compared to the last two SPs. It actually went up compared to pre-sale prices. So it looks like it was about 37 US dollars, and yeah, it looks like it went all the way up to 57, and then it's holding steady right now at about 50 US dollars. I honestly feel that this one is a little bit undervalued. Blue Bersolino is played in Sakazuki. Sakazuki is not going to get banned until June, or until the release of OP-07. So yeah, the artwork is sick. The character or the card is playable in a meta deck right now. I'm surprised how low this value is. And finally, we have Sugar. Absolutely amazing looking artwork. Still might be tied with Buggy as my favorite one. I love it. Can't wait to collect all of these. Hopefully, I pull them in my challenge. But yeah, pre-sale prices, so it's like 85 US dollars, and then it went all the way down close to half value, and it's right now just over 43 US dollars. Interestingly, last sold is a little bit higher than that. It's closer to 50 US dollars. So yeah, be interesting to see under track of it. Some of these, any of the SPs with under 50 US dollars, I feel is undervalued in how uh, well the artwork looks like, how playable depending on the leader these cards can be, and the rarity of it. It is the second rarest card or hardest card to actually collect, or type of card to collect in the set after the manga, just because I said before, you're only guaranteed 2 SPs per case. All right, so that has been the manga, treasure rare, and SP cards. Next, let's go look at the leader alt arts and see what those prices look like. All right, it's time to look at the leader alt arts. Starting with number one, we have Yamato. I'm surprised actually with this one a little bit, just because I think Yamato, Reiju, and Prona are about equal in terms of the meta relevance. They're all about the same tier, honestly, for me. Obviously, my personal favorite is Reiju. We're going to talk about her later, but yeah, uh, interesting to see that this one Yamato is number one, and quite the lead over number two is definitely quite a bit, you know. So let's go look at the current price. It looks like at pre-release, it looks like it's about uh, it went over 200 US dollars. I think the height was 280, 208 US dollars, and it looks like it's slowly going down. It's still quite high at just over 180 US dollars. And last sold is about pretty high. We have one that's a little bit lower at 140, but it looks like there might be a problem with it. But it looks like the average for this card is 100 80 US dollars. I'm still needing this card, so hopefully I get to pull one and add it to my collection. Even though I'm not going to be playing it, you know, I still would want to have it. All right, next, and definitely one of the bigger chases for me anyway is this Reiju leader alt art. It looks like a pre-release is about 142, then dropped a little bit. It actually went all the way down to just over 108 US dollars. Then it rebounded quite well, and it's holding steady at 132 US dollars. Recently sold is around that. We have actually one that's a little bit higher at about 139. But yeah, love playing Reiju. I played Reiju in the Top Cut regionals. I went 6-4. Definitely had a lot of mistakes. I basically didn't see my stage for 3 of those matches, and I got 0-3 for those. But yeah, very fun. Love playing this deck, and unfortunately, this deck kind of gets bodied by Red Purple Law, and Red Purple Law will level up even more after EB01. So I'll have fun with Reiju for the next month or so, and then moving on to another deck. So and then the third most expensive leader is Perona. So obviously we had a run of waifus, or Yamato's case, manfus. And yeah, it looked like pre-release prices was actually quite high. For Perona, it's actually 148 US dollars, and then slowly kind of leveled out, I guess leveled down, and it's currently at just over 125 US dollars. Last sold is around that price. We have one at 130, a couple at under 120. So be interesting to see how much this one or her price will actually be a month from now. Because yeah, for uh, is it the waifu? Is it the waifu tax? Why it's a lot higher? Because I can tell you right now, the fourth leader in this list is the most dominant and best deck in OP-06, along with Sakazuki. Definitely the best new leader in this set, and it has the fourth highest value. I'm talking about Gecko Moria. So yeah, Gecko Moria along with Sakazuki is the main dogs, as well as Katakuri are the main decks in this format. And yeah, interesting to see how it's number 4 in terms of the leader one. Definitely, there's biases for the first 3 decks, and I think maybe some people are just a little bit tired of black decks. They want to play something new, something fun, and that's why I can see why Yamato, Reiju, and Perona are a little bit more valued. So yeah, let's go look at the price. Pre-sale prices were just under $200 and it looks like it got down when the set actually released, and it's holding steady at just under $115. And as you can see, the latest sales, it's around that price. Next, the last 2 decks, one including a fan favorite, well, my favorite for sure, Uda, and then we have the god of the One Piece card game, Cody Jones. All right, so first let's go look at Uda. Yeah, unfortunately, Uda is not necessarily meta defining or relevant right now. I haven't really seen a lot of people excited to play her. So yeah, and it's definitely reflected with the prices. It looks like pre-sale prices went all the way up at $110, and then sharp decline. It's right. It's definitely less than half of that, and it's right now just over $48 in terms of market price. And the last sold, it's around there. So we have one it's close to 50 and a couple at around 47. Then finally, our Lord and Savior, we have Hody Jones. If you do not know, go check out Reddit because yeah, Hody is the meme god right now of the One Piece card game. I don't know where it came from. I'm too afraid to ask, but it's hilarious right now. So yeah, pre-sale price is 65 or just under $66, and it looks like right now it's unfortunately just over $31. Last sold is around that price. So yeah, hopefully there will be new spice in upcoming sets to make Hody a lot more relevant, because that would be amazingly funny. All right, next let's go look at the alt art prices, starting with I think is very unexpected with the Perona alt art. I am surprised this is the most expensive alt art because it's not even the best new black card released in this set. That's obviously with the broken Moria. But yeah, I'm surprised that Perona is actually a little bit higher than Moria. A lot of it might be due to the waifu factor, but the artwork is definitely sick, so can't complain with that. So yeah, let's go look at the prices. So it looks like the pre-sale prices undersold her a little bit because it was just under $85. And as you can see, she shot up. Wow, he went up what, $60, and it's currently just over $122. Last sold is even a little bit higher than that. It's at over $125 and climbing. So be interesting to see if next month the price will be even higher. Will it be even higher than $150? We will see. Next, let's go look at the most broken card in the set. We have Gecko Moria alt art. The price of this one is actually really interesting. It went all the way up at just over $108 and then crashed. And it went all the way down to $92 and then went up again at just over 100, and then it looks like it's selling now at just under or just over $97. It's so interesting just because this is the most broken card in the entire set. The amount of value you get for just playing this card is insane, with Sakazuki and Moria being very popular and very strong in this set. I'm surprised that Moria is not the most expensive alt art, but it is what it is. It'll be interesting to see, will there be a downward trend a month from now? Will we see the price even get lower? Because as you've seen, it actually went all the way down to $92. So we will see. Will this be over $100 US a month from now, or will it be closer to 92? Time will tell. At number 3, we have Onami, one of the new staples of yellow with the release of this set. Bonkers effects. Providing banish, especially with Karakuri or Yamato, is so strong. The trigger of Nami is amazing, KOing 5 costs or less from life. Insane. So yeah, pre-sale price it's just over 107 US dollars. It went all the way up at 125, and it looks like it's holding steady now at around 90 US dollars. Last sold is around there. So yeah, Nami is always Nami. You know, there's all the signs are there. All of this all the signs are there for this card be holding a lot of its value, just because one, it's Nami. Number two, it is very playable in this meta. And number three, it's yellow, right? And yellow is always going to be very popular in the near future for sure. Next we have Reiju. Absolutely gorgeous artwork, love it. So yeah, it looks like pre-sale it's a little bit lower. It was like 70, 69, 70 US dollars, and then shot all the way up to just over 107 US dollars. And it looks like it's going slowly down and holding steady at around 87 US dollars. Last sold is a little bit harder, or a little bit higher than that, around 90 US dollars. So not bad, well earned. Love this card, love this deck. Next we have the Zoro alt art. So this is going to be the alt art of the Zoro secret rare. Amazing artwork, love it. Zoro is definitely one of the more popular characters in the One Piece card game, so I'm not surprised that this card's value is high, even though it's not really seen in a lot of decks, maybe in Fortress Yamato, but aside from that, not really. So yeah, let's go look at the price. The pre-sale, it was just under 110 US dollars, and then during release it went down a lot, and it looks like it's holding steady around 65 US dollars. Last sold kind of bears that. Next we have Sanji. Number four, yeah, so just behind Zoro, which is canon, just like in the manga and anime, always behind Zoro. So yeah, pre-sale price is 88 US dollars, around, or just over 88 US dollars, and then it caved all the way down to about, wow, half the value at 41 US dollars and 65 cents, and then it had a little bit of a spike at about 71 US dollars and 73 cents. And then it looks like it's holding steady right now at just over 65 US dollars. Last sold, it's a little bit lower than that. It's around 60 US dollars. Next, we have Kozoki Hiyori. Absolutely gorgeous artwork. Another one of the new staple cards in yellow right now. Yeah, pre-sale, it's around 64 US dollars. Then there was a sharp decline during release around 49 US dollars and 63 cents, and then shot back up again when people realized, no, this card is pretty awesome, and then went all the way up to 66, and it's currently holding steady right now at just around 60 US dollars. Last sold is even higher than that. It's around 64, 63 right there. Next, we have Absalom, another staple in Moria and Sakazuki decks. So it looks like yeah, around pre-sale it's around 49.99, so 50 US dollars, and then it kind of went down at $25.85 during release, and then slowly went up, and it's currently holding steady at just under 34 US dollars. Last sold is around there, 34, 35 US dollars. Looks good. Next we have Big Red Ranger, aka Ichiji. Love this card. If you're a Reiju player, you definitely want this card. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I love it. The artwork in this set, guys, looks absolutely amazing. Yeah, pre-sale prices, this is just over 41 US dollars, and then it looks like it's holding steady now at just under 33 US dollars. Again, last sold is around that price. Next, we got our Lord of Savior. We got Hody Jones again. I'm actually surprised that this card is this high, just because it's not. Actually, no. Never mind. This Hody Jones is very playable compared to the leader, Yamato. It's amazing, Yamato. Basically, any green decks should have Yamato because the effect is so strong. Resting two characters, or resting two Dons. on play while having rush is insane. So yeah, I'm not surprised it's actually this high. So pre-release is looks like the price was just over 65 US dollars, and then yeah, it's holding steady now at just under 30. Last sold is around there. We had one around 25, but it's probably should hold around 30 US dollars there. Next, we have Momonosuke. So this one's another staple in yellow decks. Pre-sale was just over 51 US dollars, and it looks like it's holding steady right now, about half the price at $28.43. Last sold is around that price of 28.29 US dollars. Next, we got Shuraya. Surprisingly, the Shuraya is used definitely in red purple law, so maybe some of his value is from there. Pre-sale was just over 39 US dollars, and it looks like it's holding steady now at just under 22. Last sold actually went a little bit lower than that, all the way down to 19. Next, we have Tashigi. I think Tashigi is played in some Sakazuki builds. Obviously, searching Navy is never a bad thing. It looks like it went all the way up at 34 US dollars, slowly decreased, and it's holding steady now at just around $18.74. Last sold is actually it went even actually this one's heavy played, so not really comparable, but yeah, it's around 17 to 18 US dollars. Next, we got Shanks. So this one's drawn by the venerable Akira Igawa. Amazing, amazing, amazing artist. My favorite one in the One Piece card game for sure. Yeah, looks amazing. Unfortunately, Shanks and Red as a whole is not really playable a lot aside from like Red Purple Law, which is probably closer to purple than red, anyways. Yeah, unfortunately, not really played, but the artwork is banging. Let's see the price. Pre-sale was a little bit, well, a lot higher. It was actually like nearly 40 US dollars. It looks like it's holding steady right now at around 17 US dollars. Recently sold is about there, 16 to 17. Next, we got Vince Smoke Judge. So Reiju's pretty popular. Reiju, the character, is very expensive. However, Judge is not, just because you only need two per deck, and honestly, it's not even mandatory for me anyway. For Reiju decks, it's a win more condition rather than a necessary one like Ichiji or Reiju or even Nishi. So yeah, so let's see the price. It looks like pre-sale it was all the way up at $36.42. It looks like it's about half of that right now. It's around 16 US dollars. Last sold is around 15 to 16 US dollars price. Next, we got Kami. It looks like Kami's price actually went up compared to some of the pre-sale prices, I believe. But yeah, it looks like it was all the way up to 17 US dollars, holding steady right now at 15. Unfortunately, even though I love the artwork, this card is not necessarily playable in a lot of the decks unless they change Hody and buff a lot of the merfolks out there. But yeah, unfortunately, Kami's not necessarily played. Next, we got Luffy. Unfortunately, even though Luffy is the most popular character in the One Piece, just One Piece period. Unfortunately, Red being not that playable in the set, as well as having the film package tied to this one. Unfortunately, not going to be very iconic or not that in demand. So that's kind of reflected with the pricing. Yeah, so it looks like the highest they went was 24 US dollars, probably a pre-sale price, and it looks like it's holding steady or just above 13 US dollars. And it looks like the last sold is around 12 to 13 US dollars. And then the least expensive card in the set is Aramaki. I don't really know which deck uses this one. I think I've only seen it played in one deck. I believe it was Queen. No, was it Queen? There was like a one deck that I played in the regionals that played Aramaki. I honestly had to ask my opponent to explain to me the effect just because I do not even know the effect of this card. But yeah, let's go look at the price. Pre-sale was around $24.62, and it looks like it cratered and it's right now just under 8 US dollars. Last sold is around 7 to 8. So yeah, so that has been the alt arts in the set. Next, let's go look at the secret rares, and then let's go check out the SR prices. All right, last but not least, we're gonna look at the secret rares as well as the SRs in OP-06. And yeah, I think one of the things that you will see and I feel is that OP-06 has potentially one of the best values out there in terms of if you're looking to sell a lot of the singles, not just the alt arts, but the SRs and secret rares as well. Yeah, so let's go look at the prices and I'll tell you what I think. Starting with Zoro, secret rare. So obviously Zoro and Sanji are the two secret rares in this set. Even though it is really not that playable, it's still holding really nice price. It looks like it was all the way up to nearly 60 US dollars, and it's right now it's just under 25. Last sold is around there as well, 24-25 US dollars, which is great. If it becomes more playable, if there's a deck out there or a leader out there that makes it necessary, like I won't be surprised if it will actually double in price there. Same thing with Sanji. It looks like Sanji right now, it was all the way up at nearly 58 US dollars, and it's right now holding steady around 20 US dollars. Last sold is around there as well, 90 to 20. If there's going to be a blue deck, if it becomes part of the meta, I won't be surprised if it becomes a $40 card quite easily. And honestly, it just need one leader in like OP-09, EP-01, or EP-02 or whatever, and then you can see, I can definitely see the price of these ones go up. I don't think these prices will go down a lot lower, just because even in terms of collectability, Sanji and Zoro are some of the most popular cards in the One Piece I guess fandom. So it'll be a very easy thing and cheap thing for a lot of people to collect if they are a fan of these characters. Next, let's go look at the SRs. Starting with the most expensive one and the broken one, we got Gecko Moria alt art. This is so interesting because when we saw the alt art, we saw that Perona was actually over Gecko Moria, but then during the regular SRs, it's actually Moria who has a lot more value. Is it because Perona's artwork was better? You know, maybe the regular SRs, it's more of the playability that affects the cost versus the alt R, where it's a lot more of the collectability. We shall see. So it looks like Gecko Moria right now, it was all the way up at nearly 35 US dollars. It went all the way down now. It's around 17 US dollars. Last solds are about 16 to 17 US dollars. Yeah, it definitely warrants that price. There's usually in a set, there's usually one SRs that dominates all of it, and the thing that you want to get in your packs. If you do not know, you're guaranteed 7 SRs per box, and usually for the previous sets, like OP-01, you definitely want to pull a Zoro. OP-02, you wanted Whitebeard. Same thing with OP-03, I think it was Big Mom. It's like there's always one SRs to rule them all. But one thing that you will see in OP-06, and why I think this set is so so profitable, is that there's a lot of regular cards that retains value and helps justifying some of the prices you see out there. I will tell you right now, if you bought it in marketplace or MSRP prices, yeah, you can definitely make a lot of your money back. If you saw my videos, I note how much each of my pulls, hits, alt arts plus, and secret rares that I get from my boxes, and you can see that, hey, there be some boxes that's over 200 US dollars value, and I definitely paid about like way less than that in MSRP, and that's not even adding some of the SR values out there. So yeah, you see here, you can easily add another 30, 40, 50 US dollars in value just with the SRs. So yeah, we see Gecko Moria out here. And next, we have the second most expensive SR, not Perona. It's actually going to be Reiju. Perona is not even top 3. Yeah, Reiju, I honestly think that Reiju will even get higher. I don't think it's going to top Moria just because playability wise, Moria is still way crazier than Reiju. But I think Reiju is getting more popular right now. More people want to try out this deck. And honestly, this card, this SR, will be used in Red Purple Law in the future as well. I mean, you can play it right now, but Red Purple Law won't get really broken until EB01. So I think this card will actually hold its value, and I won't be surprised if it will even get higher if the release of EB01. So yeah, pre-release price, it's over 32 US dollars, and it looks like it's holding steady right now at just over 16 US dollars. Recent sold is around there, so neck and neck with Moria. It will be interesting to see how it's like a month from now. And then surprisingly, number 3, we got Hiyori SR. If you see the timeline last month, it's definitely all over the place. It was all the way up at 19 or just over 20 US dollars, and then it dipped, and then went up again, then dipped, and then went up again, and it looks like it's a dip right now. It's currently at just over 12 US dollars. Last sold holding around 12 to 13 US dollars. I won't be surprised, especially if yellow takes off again. I mean, shout out to, I said, Michael Curry, aka Fire, for winning the back-to-back regionals. So if more people want to go and play yellow again, is, you know, maybe the price of this one will soar once again. So it will be interesting to see how this price looks like a month from now. Next, we got Hody Jones. So it looks like Hody Jones was at just under 30 US dollars, and it looks like it's holding steady right now at just under 7 US dollars. Last hold is around there. So yeah, very, very strong card. You need 4 of these. So same thing as I said before, I feel that there's so many of these SRs in OP-06 that are holding really, really, really good value if you're trying to sell it. Honestly, if you sell it in eBay, you can actually get even higher prices compared to TCG prices. How do I know? It's because I've been selling a lot of these cards in in eBay, not in TCG Marketplace. So I know that I've actually been able to get a little bit higher value than even here you listed in TCG Player. Next, we have Perona, finally. So yeah, Perona, it was all the way up at just under 30 US dollars. It looks like it's holding steady right now at just over 6, similar to Hody. Last sold is around 5 to 6. It looks like maybe it's gonna go a little bit lower. It's one of those that, aside from Perona decks, Sakazuki doesn't use her, and the only one that uses her is Moria. So we'll see. Maybe once Sakazuki gets banned, maybe Moria or Perona becomes a lot more prevalent. Because, you know, Moria, people will gravitate to Moria instead of Perona. Next, we got Shiraya. Surprisingly, I honestly thought this card will be like $1. I mean, I guess it kind of is. But yeah, pre-sale, it was just under 25. It looks like it's holding steady right now at 2 US dollars. Be interesting to see once Red Purple Law becomes more popular if the price will go up. Next, we got Momonosuke SR. Some yellow decks play this card, not at 4, I believe. I believe it's only like 2 or something like that. So yeah, pre-sales are under 15 US dollars, and it's just right now at just over 2. Last sold is actually a little bit higher, around $3 or so. Next, we got Judge. As I mentioned before, you only need 2 of these, and that's going to reflect it in the price compared to Reiju. Yeah, it was nearly 17 US dollars, and right now it's just under 2. Last sold is around there. Shanks, unfortunately, not really played. It used to be nearly 20 US dollars, and right now it's about $1. Last sold is around there. And then the last of the bunch, we got Aramaki, and yeah, it was nearly 7. Cratered down around 60 cents now. Last sold is around there. So yeah, so usually when you see some of the SR prices before, usually we'll only have one SR around this price, 15, 16 US dollars, and then you will have everything else, like maybe 3 around this price, and then everything else will be closer to Shiraya and lower. But as you can see, there's actually 3 prices That's kind of close to Gecko Moria. Usually I've been selling Reiju and Gecko Moria around 25 Canadian dollars. Hiyori around 20 Canadian dollars. Hodi around 10 to 12 Canadian, same thing as Perona. And then Shuraya and them probably like 5 Canadian dollars or lower. So yeah, compared to the other sets, I'm surprised on how much value the regular cards have. That's not even counting some of the other cards in the set. Let's go quickly look at one. So, when I was talking about the value of the SRs, let's just look at OP-05. As you see, Kid, it's around, $6 US. Rebecca, it's actually 4. You see Kaido, it's like less than $5 US. Comparing sets, you can see that that the values in some of the cards in the OP-06 set is actually much higher than some of the other sets that I've seen. I've looked, I've lived through, or not lived through, but I've definitely tried selling in all of the sets before, and I feel that I'm able to get a lot of value in this set compared to the previous ones. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's gonna hold, it's gonna say, or if it's gonna go away. I believe that a lot of people feel refreshed with OP-06 compared to OP-04 and even OP-05. More people are trying out new decks like Yamato, like Perona, like Reiju, even Moria, and because of that, you need a lot of these new cards from this set, and that's why, because of the very, very high value of the sealed products, that's kind of reflected with the value of the SRs or the regular cards as well. As I said before, just even looking at Kikunojo, right? Kikunojo is just a regular rare, and as you can see, the price of that one is actually more expensive than some of the SRs. Onami, same thing as well. Yeah, some of the yellow cards are holding their values very, very well. So if you were able to buy boxes at market price, MSRP prices, you might be able to recoup a lot of your value if you sell some of the duplicates that you have, or maybe you want to recoup as much as you can. Yeah, this might be a good set for you to do so, just because there's a lot of value here, compared to some of the ones that I have seen before prior. All right, so that has been the marketplace review for OP-06 for April. As always, if you want to be part of the giveaway, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. I hope everyone will have an amazing April, and I'll see you guys in May.